with my bishop yesterday. And as we sat down and we had conversation, for the Holy Ghost said that I should be somewhere. And as I was obedient to the Holy Ghost, God orchestrated a meeting. And as I sat in the meeting, the Holy Ghost sent over the Fisherman's training. I was in Jamaica, as you know, last week, and as I was praying one morning on the balcony, I saw a man walking up on the rocks, and he had in his hand, he had the snorkeling gear in his hand, and he had a spear gun. And when he walked up to the rock, he simply got changed into his snorkeling gear, put his bag down, and he jumped off into the water. And I didn't see him again. He was gone for hours. Because he was a fisherman. But he was a spare fisherman. And he went forth to fish. And he goes out to the big reef in that area. So there's a reef that is on the coastline that stops the waves from taking away the beautiful fishes. And they go out, these fishermen, out to the reef, and they fish there for hours. But that type of fisherman can only catch a few fish. For when they spare a fish, they attach the fish to their hip. And as they catch another, they attach it around their hips. And so he is limited as to how many fish he can catch and harness and bring back to shore. But the kind of fishing that I want to talk about is the mass fishing. And every fisherman has his skill. He knows how to fish. Talk to me, somebody. Fishermen have their choice of fishing net. And there are many types of nets. There are nets that are used to capture the desired commodity from the sea. Fishermen know that if they want to have good revenue, they cannot spare fish. Because when you spare fish, you cannot grab the fish by the mass or a la mass. And so fishermen go for using nets. And there are several types of nets, as I said. There is one net called the cast net. And the cast net is about 4 meters long. And with the cast net, the fisherman would walk by the shores and he would take his net and he will thrust it out. It's only 4 meters long. And so he can do it by himself. There's another kind of net that's called the bottom trawl. And with the bottom trawl, you need 1 or 2 boats designed to tow this net along the sea or the bottom of the river. So they will tow this line throughout the sea, 2 boats pulling. And as they tow, they gather all the fish that they desire. There's another kind of net called the coracle net. And the coracle net is performed by 2 men in separate boats. As they sit in their boats, one man will take one end of the net, and he will paddle with one hand, and hold one hand will be on the net, and he will paddle and hold the net, and they would go up the lake and they would go fishing. But the kind of net that I want to deal with today is the net called the drag net. This kind of net, one man cannot handle this net. This net now needs to be thrust in. It's a massive net. And when it is thrown, it is launched out, massive net. And it drops on the top of the water, and it goes underneath, and it gathers every single thing that is in its way. This net, when you have to pull this net in, you can't do it on your own. You need a collaborative effort to extrapolate the content that were caught in it. And so you need 5 or 6 or 7 or even 10 men at times to extrapolate, to pull out this net. Because it was lightly thrown in, but when you're pulling out, it's something else. You throw it in lightly, but it comes out really heavy. And I want to let you know that this church isn't a one-man band. This church needs a collaborative effort to bring forth them to salvation. God is not interested in using one person to fish for souls, but he needs a collaborative effort to throw out the net and to draw it in so souls can be saved. Tell somebody it's not a one-man party. Tell somebody it's not a one-man party. Jesus didn't leave one man in charge of the church, but Jesus left 12 men and told them to go make disciples. Therefore you can't do it by yourself. Lord help me today. This dragnet is said to be able to astonishingly drag about 4 tons of fish. Can you imagine 4 tons of fish? Having to drag out 4 tons of fish. Lord help me. And what is most amazing about this net is that it is strong enough not only to pull in the fish, but to pull in every kind of sea creatures. It can pull in sharks, and it can pull in octopuses, and it can pull in every kind of venom, and it can pull in all those venomous and vicious sea creatures. And when it's pulled in, Lord help me this morning, you gotta grab it and you gotta hold it and you gotta pull it in. And I want to tell you, when God is having us pull, we pull in every kind of creature also in the church. That's right. That's right. Oh, help me this morning. We're talking about the fisherman's choice. When the fishermen pull in their net, it takes an effort, and it takes strength, and it takes your courage, and it takes everything that you have. It takes your commitment. Oh, help me, Jesus. Well, God can't work with you if you're not committed. You can't be selfish either. You gotta be committed and ready to do the master's will. As we said this morning, God is not looking for somebody with a PhD. God is not looking for somebody with a doctorate. But God is looking for laborers in the field. Somebody who can say, God, I am totally dependent on you. For you have what I need. You have my strength. My hope is in God. Hallelujah. God God is looking for somebody to join in the band, to pull out from the sea of the world, put in the nets, for some life can be saved. Somebody who's ready to do God's will. Somebody cry in this house, I'm ready to do your will. Not my will, but thy will, Lord, must be done in my life. Hallelujah. This dragnet now pulls in every kind of creature. Hallelujah. No doubt it must be awesome when you're a fisherman. And when you push out your net, you thrust it out. When you go back to find that it's full. It's a time of prosperity. Tell somebody it's a time of prosperity. When you thrust out your net, you gotta pull it in. And there is no greater feeling than pulling in your net, realizing that it's full. You went out empty, but you're coming back full. The Holy Ghost told me that. You left here empty, but you come back full. Some of you walked in this house empty, but the Holy Ghost want me to tell you, you won't leave here like you came. Pronounce it in Jesus' name. You came here empty, but you're going to leave this house full. Tell somebody I'm leaving this house full. It's a time of prosperity. Hallelujah. Now. Oh, help me, Jesus. Help me, Jesus. And it's one of those things. It's one thing to draw out a full net. But it's another thing to be able to use everything that's caught in it. Help me now, Jesus. The fisherman now, he pulls in his net. But when he pulls in his net, there are all kinds of unlawful, unedible things that are caught in it that are not profitable. For all things are lawful, but all things are expedient. So when the fisherman now pulls in his net, it is a time now for him to figure out what is worthy and what isn't worthy. Lord God, tell somebody, tell God, I want to be worthy. Tell the Lord you want to be worthy. Tell the Lord you want to be worthy. Tell the Lord you want to be worthy. Help me now. The fisherman has to pull it out, and he has to figure out what is worthy, what is profitable, and what is not profitable. Likewise, there's some people who are pulled out of the world who are not marketable. When God pulls some people out of the world, he looks at them and says they are not profitable. Oh, help me, Jesus. What do you do with something that's not profitable? Tell somebody you throw it back. What do you do with something that's not profitable? Something that's not marketable. You take it and you... Hey, why would you keep something that will hinder you? I want to tell you this morning that the Holy Ghost sent me by to speak to the church, to let you know that he is the great fisherman, and that he has thrown out his net and he's pulling it back. And when he has found that many of us are not profitable, and he's ready to throw it back, he's ready to throw you back. But I heard Jonah cry, help me, Jesus. For Jonah was thrown back in the water. He was discarded, for he was proven not profitable. But I heard Jonah cry. He said, from the belly of hell. Yeah. Sometimes you might not be at the standard where the Lord wants you to be. But the Lord said, if you only cry, if you only open up your mouth and give him a praise, he'll cast out his net again.